Are you also getting the same?
1 second. Let me check.
Ben, can you access the lab?
The lab is still loading. It's still loading, so just watch. Okay. Yeah, it has opened. Now it has opened. It has opened.
Okay,
Yeah, just opened. Okay.
that's good. Naveen, what happened?
1 second. It's taking. Where's the lab? It's on-demand content, on-demand assessment, on-demand evaluation. Mangesh, the last lab you have completed during the class, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Why is taking so much time to load? Yeah, it's working, Mangesh, on my browser.
Which browser you're using?
I'm just try on Microsoft Edge. Do one thing, try clear cache on your browser, then try it again. Okay,
Okay.
it's properly working. Yeah.
Oh, yesterday I used the same link only. Just one second. I'll try it in Microsoft Edge.
Yeah.
Oh no. What's happening? at this course. I think looks like this is working in other one. Oh, I should have tried in the other one.
It's working now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometime your history and caches make some issues. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. So today we start our storage fourth lesson, VMFS data store. So the yesterday's class we discussed about the storage concept, fiber channel over the Ethernet, and ISKG storage. We do a lab. We done a lab of ISKG storage. We attach some ISKG storage on our ESXi host. So in this chapter, we discuss about the VMFS data store. So when you put a hard drive on a system, you cannot write the data on that hard drive directly. You need to prepare that hard drive to write the data. Okay. So in your vSphere environment, if you are using the direct attached storage, fiber channel over the Ethernet, or your ISKG hard drive, so you need to make it VMFS data store over that. So in this chapter, we discuss about the VMFS data store, what is the VMFS and how it works. So in this chapter, we create a VMFS data store, increase the size of VMFS data store, and delete a VMFS data store. So VMFS or the vSphere virtual volume data store when accessing the block level storage. So basically, VMFS data store will be created on a block level storage, like on a hard drive. You cannot create the VMFS data store on a shared folder like NFS. VMFS is optimized for storing and accessing the large files. So basically, VMFS designed for the large files to store and access the large files. And a VMFS data store can have the maximum volume size is 64 TB. So you can make a data store of 64 TB using the VMFS. vSphere virtual volume can use the advanced storage services that include the replication, encryption, data duplications, compression on individual virtual disks. And the virtual volume supports such as features like vMotions, storage vMotions, snapshots, linked clones, flash read caches, and DRS. And use the RDMA if any of the following conditions are true of your virtual machines. So you can directly attach a LUN to a virtual machine according to your conditions, like VM is taking the storage array level snapshots. It is clustered to a physical machine, and it has large amount of data that you do not want to convert into a virtual disk. So in this case, we use the RDM disks. So you can create the VMFS data stores. So VMFS data stores are the repositories of virtual machines. Using the new wizard, data store wizard, you can create the VMFS data store on direct attached storage, on ISKG, on fiber channel. You can browse the contents by select your data store and go to the file to browse what kind of files is inside your data store. Managing the overcommitted data store. Let's suppose you overcommit your storage. So overcommit is done when you using the thin provisioning. Okay, let's suppose your data storage size is 1 TB and you create 4 virtual machines with 300 GB. Okay, using the thin provisioning. So your actual size of your data store is 1 GB, but you create 4 virtual machines with 300 GB storage. So you assign the 1.2 TB storage. So and your capacity is 1 TB. So that is overcommitting. So data store become overcommitted when the total provisioned space of thin provisioned disk is greater than the size of data store. So you need to actively monitor your data store capacities. Alarm assist through the notifications. So vCenter server your ESXi will generate alarms to notify you about the data store over allocations, virtual disk uses, and use the reporting to view the space uses, actively manage your data store capacities. So increase your data store capacity when necessary. If you have overcommitted the data store, so increase your data store capacity, or you can move your virtual machine to the another storage server. So in the vSphere storage, vMotion to migrate the space use problems on a particular data store. So if you have overcommit issue, then you can increase your data store size, or you can move your virtual machine to another data store. Increasing the size of VMFS data store. So before making any change to storage allocation, perform a risk scan to ensure all the hosts see the most current storage and record the unique identifiers of your LUNs, and increase a VMFS data store size to give it more space to possibly improve the performance. So there is two methods to improve your data store size. One is expand. One is the expand. So let's suppose on your ESXi host you connect a 1 TB hard drive and you create a data store of 700 GB. So on your hard drive you have approx 300 GB of free unallocated space. So you can assign that space to your data store to increase the capacity. So that is the expand. Another one is the extend. You do not have the space on your disk. So what you need to do, you can connect another LUNs, then you add those LUNs in your data center. So this is the add and extend. If you are adding the LUNs in your data store, if you are utilizing the unallocated space on your disk is known as expand. So you can use both methods. Okay, according to your current configuration and requirement. Deleting or unmounting the VMFS data store. So when you delete your VMFS data store, all the data inside your VMFS data store will be erased, permanently removed. If you unmount your VMFS data store from your ESXi host, it will become it will invisible on your ESXi host, but the all data will remain on your data store. You just remove from your ESXi host, but data will be on the data store. Data will not be removed. Multipathing, so array provides the various features. Some are for the active storage processors, other for the active passive storage processors. So which we offer native path selection, load balancing, and failover mechanisms. And third-party vendor can create their own software to install on the ESXi host. So this third-party software enable the host to properly interact with the storage array. So to provide the failover load balancing, we use the multiple paths. So some features are included in your vSphere. Some features are provided by the third parties. So you can include those features on your host server. You can configure the load balancing by configuring your storage, connectivity, and multipathing on your storage adapter. So for the scalability, the method is round robin, a multiple path policy that performs the load balancing across the paths. So in the round robin, method the path select by one. Let's suppose you make a first request. That request go through the first path. Second request go to the second path. Third request go to the first path. Fourth request go to the second path, like in cycle manner. And the availability is used for the MRU, most recent use, and you can also use the fixed availability. So we have a lab about the VMFS data store. So in this lab, we create a VMFS data store on ESXi host, expand the data store to consume unused space on a LUN, remove the data store, extend a VMFS data store, and create a second said VMFS data store using the ESXi. So let's start our lab. So I'm going to start my vCenter. So in this lab, we have total 5 tasks. So let's start with the first task, create a VMFS data store on ESXi host. So we are going to create a data store on your ESXi one LAN. Okay, so let's check lab server. If you look in our data store, we have a single data store, class data store. We are going to create a new one. So right click on your data center and select storage and new data store. Here we select the VMFS. Assign your data store name. So let's do the VMFS2. Select your host, on which host you want to create. So I want to create on ESXi1. So there is the available LUNs, like one is the local LUN of 8 GB. These are the ISKG LUNs. So we are going to use this LUN number 2 according to the manual. Next. So the capacity of this device is 10 GB. We select the VMFX6 with the advanced format and the new version. So this is your partition configuration. How much space you want to assign on a data store. Let's suppose I want to create a 10 GB of data store. Sorry, 7 GB. Okay. So the remaining 3 GB space will be free on your data store, on your disk. Next. It's ready to create. Finish. So look there, you have a VMFS to here. Okay. We do the similar thing for the ESXi to right click on your data center, storage, new storage, VMFS, next. Data store name is like VMFS 03. Sorry, VMFS 3. Host is ESXi 2. There is a free LUN, so I am going to use the LUN number 3. Next. Number 6. I'm going to assign all the space 10 GB. Finish. So now you have your another VMFS data store. If you want to look inside your data store, select your data store, and here's your configuration like utilize space and free space. If you look inside the files, so there is no files. This is your default folder in your data store. If you want to check the summary, the capacity, used space, free space in your data store. Okay. The next lab is expand a VMFS data store to consume the unused space. So in our VMFS data store, we assign the 7 GB of storage. 3 GB is remaining on your disk. So we also want to add that remaining space on your this data store. So we are going to increase the capacity of the data store. So right click on your data store and select increase the data store capacity. So find which LUN is allow you to expand the data store. So scroll on the right side and look here. That one is the expand, and the first disk is allow you. Okay, you can expand here. On the second disk, you cannot expand because this disk is not a member of your data store. Next. So how much you want to expand? Use all 3 GB free available space. So type 3. We are going to extend the 3 GB more on your data store. Next. So after increasing the capacity, the final capacity of your data store will be approx 10 GB. Finish. Now look there. Now the capacity of your data store is 9.75 GB. Okay. So like that, you can expand your data store. How to remove a data store? So you simply right click on your remove the data store 3. So right click on your data store. If you unmount your data store will be will not erase any information. It's just unleashed from your host server. But if you delete your data store, all the data in your data store will be erased. I'm going to delete. Are you sure? Yes. So it is in process. Yeah, it's done. Okay. Complete those 3 tasks. Then we go on next task. Complete those 3 tasks now.
Sure.
Choose the LUN number carefully according to the manual. Okay.
So what is the page number? First one?
I think it's 39. 39, 40, 41. Okay, save screen. Yeah, on the left side, you can provide the right side. On the left side, yeah, type here at the place of 2, type the 7 GB. Yeah, right. You are going to expand or you are going to create a new one?
Okay, what is the partition configuration is free space 3.2 GB.
Yeah, cancel this process. On which page you are?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, right click on your data center. Right click on your data center.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did all that correct. First one, right? Local VMware, right?
1 second. What is the manual saying? On your VMFS2 LUN side, this LUN 2. LUN number 2. The third one in this list. Third one is the LUN number 2.
Oh, that's why I'm thinking different
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now put the 7 GB here. Yeah, right. Like that. Now create on ESXi 2. Select the LUN number. Use the all space of 10 GB. Yeah. No, use complete space. On the top, select use all space. Yeah, type here 10 GB. Yeah. Type here 10 GB. Yeah. Next. Finish. Check the summary. What is your data store size? So on the inventory view, select the data store inventory, storage in inventory view. On the top, on those 4 icons, on the top, where is the inventory view?
This one,
Not here.
monitor.
On the left, on the left panel, select the third icon.
On the left
And your
panel.
inventory. Yeah, this one. This one is your storage inventory view. Expand. Select your data store to check the summary. So this is the detail about your VMFS data store too. So you can check here the capacity, use space, free space. Okay.
Okay.
Your next lab. Increase the capacity of data store 2, VMFS 2. So which drive allow you to expand? Scroll on the right side. And look which one is allowing for the expand. Look at the last column. Yes, yeah, this one. How many space is available on this disk? Is approximately 3 GB. Okay.
Yeah.
So use the 3 GB. Okay. Next. Finish. Look at the size. Now, what is the size of your data store on the data store 2? Capacity. It's approx 10 GB.
10
Okay.
GB. Around 10 GB.
So like that, you can expand your data store.
Okay.
Next step is remove your third data store.
Where is the refresh?
Yeah, refresh one. It's look at the recent task at the bottom. Yeah, now it's completed.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, Ben. You completed
Hello?
your lab?
Yeah, I'm deleting the last task. It said I should delete.
Okay.
So
Okay.
deleting the VMFS data store.
Yeah, complete.
Okay, it is removed.
Okay. Now our first task is extend a VMFS data store. Okay. Now we want in the second task we expand our data store. In this task we add a extend in our data store. Mean we add another LUN to increase the capacity of the data store. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to right click on the VMFS data store 2. Increase the capacity. And in this column, I'm going to select this one, LUN number 3. It's free now. Okay.
Okay.
Next. So you want to utilize any specific space or the all space, you can select here. Okay. Next. There is a warning, there is no extend of the data store on this storage. So selecting any configuration option will add a new extend to the data store. Okay. Next. And finish. So we add another 10 GB of extend in our data store. So look at the bottom, it's adding. Yeah, now it's completed. So look at the size. It's approx 19.5 GB.
Yeah.
Okay. So like that you can add the extend. If you go to the configuration, here is your name, your system size, device type, capacity is 19 GB, provisioned space is 1.4 GB, and free space is 18 GB. If your provisioned space is more than your capacity, so that event is known as storage overcommitment. Okay. Data store capability, so thin provisioning support, input output is disabled on. Space reclaim, enable at the low priority. Device backing, you can check how many devices and which one are used at the back end. So these two devices are connected with this data store. Okay.
Okay.
You can also check the multipathing and connectivity here. Okay. So I select first one. So there's a list of the paths. So in the last, we rename this data store with said VMFS. Okay. So right click on your data store, rename, and the name is said VMFS. Okay. Let's check this data store is in which ESXi host is connected. So if we click on the host, so there is the list of hosts on that this data store is available. So in the both ESXi hosts, this data store is connected. Okay. Whatever the warning. Next lab is create a second shared VMFS data store using the ESXi. Okay. So we click on our data center, right click on data center, storage, new storage, choose VMFS, next, the name. So like ESXi data store. Okay. Select the host. Use this LUN number 5. Next. Version 6. Next. Use all space. Next. And finish. It's created. Let's check the accessibility on this data store. Both data store can access, both hosts can access this data store, but we create this data store on ESXi 1. Then why the ESXi 2 also able to access this data store? Because the backend device are accessible on both. Okay. Why it's accessible? Why this data store is accessible on both ESXi hosts? So this is our lab number 6. The next lab is 7. So first we discuss about the NFS, then we do this lab. So complete your task 4 and 5. Then we go on the NFS. Page number 42, page number 43. Complete now. Magesh, share your screen with me. Complete the task 4 and 5.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
We just have to expand. So
right click and increase the capacity. Right click on the data store and select the increase the capacity. And select that LUN number 3. Next, use the all capacity. Look there, now the capacity is 9.5 GB. It's adding. Now its capacity is 19.5 GB. Okay.
Yep.
Rename this data store with said VMFS. Right click on the data store and click rename. Said VMFS. Hyphen. Okay. Create your second VMFS store. ESXi store. Right click on your data center.
Okay. And new data store. 1 minute.
Storage, not data store. Storage. Right click on your data center and select the storage. Right click. What are you doing?
No, that is done. ESXi is done. ESXi data store
Yeah.
is done.
Check which host can access this data store. So select your ESXi and on this panel select the host on the top. On the top. After the configuration you have the permission, then file, then host. So select the host. So there is the list of the hosts they can access this data store. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Benjamin, you done?
Yeah, I'm on the last page, 43.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So in the lesson 5, we discuss about the NFS data store, network file system. Okay. So on a NFS, you cannot create a VMFS data store because NFS is a file level storage. You can create the VMFS data storage on the block level storage on your ISKG, on your fiber channel over the Ethernet, or the local storage. Okay.
Okay.
So in this lesson, we describe the NFS components, difference between the version 3 and version 4.1, configure and manage the NFS data store. So there is the components. So this is your NFS server, a NAS device or a server with storage, the directory to save with ESXi host over the network. So this is your folder that are shared through the network is /ISO, and here is the IP address of your storage server. And your host is connected with the storage server with IP network. Okay. On the host, so host virtual switch map with a physical network card, and you have a VM kernel adapter on your virtual switch, and this is your IP address. So using that, we access this folder and write and read the data in this folder. So it's a kind of NAS, network attached storage. So to configure the NFS data store, create a VM kernel port for better performance and security. Separate your NFS network from your ISKG network. Provide the following information like NFS version, data store name, NFS server name or IP address, folder which you want to access. Select the host, will mount the data store, on which host you want to mount this data store. Whether or not to mount the NFS file system in read-only mode. If you want to mount this folder in read-only mode, you can check the read-only and authentication parameters like the Kerberos authentication or some other authentication. So which kind of the authentication supported by the ISKG? It's a question for you. Which type of authentication supported by the ISKG?
Can you give some option?
It's CHAP, Challenge Handshake Authentication Protocol. Okay.
Okay.
So if you are using a unidirectional, then which one initiate the authentication? The initiator or the target? It's target.
What is the
Okay.
question?
So
Okay.
when
What
you
was
are
the
using
question?
when you are using the unidirectional in the ISKG, which one initiate the authentication? Initiator or the target? Target mean your storage server, initiator mean who are accessing that storage server. So in our case, is host. Initiator is our host, and the storage server is the target. So in the unidirectional, the target initiate the authentication protocol, and in the ISKG, the authentication protocol is CHAP.
Okay. Okay.
In the ISKG, which kind of naming a host assign on ISKG is runtime name. Okay, the IP address, IQN number, EY numbers are tools. So when you like attach any drive to the ISKG, so your host server assign a name that known as runtime name, like VMHBA633 colon controller number 0 colon target number 1 colon LUN number 1, like that. So this is a runtime name. Okay, and this name is assigned by your host server, which you are by ESXi server. So there is a difference between the network NFS version 3 and version 4.1. So version 3, ESXi manage your multipaths. So to manage your multipathing, the ESXi can manage the multipath, but in the 4.1, a native multipathing and session trunking is introduced. Authentication and the 4.1 optional Kerberos authentication. So in the 4.1, you can enable the Kerberos authentication method to authenticate the host servers to access the NFS folder. In the version 3, VMware proprietary file locking, but in the 4.1, built-in file locking in your NFS. Client-side error tracking in the NFS 3. In the 4.1, server-side error tracking. So when you configure your NFS, you get two versions, like version 3 and version 6. So if you are using the older ESXi servers, like earlier than 6.0, so you need to select NFS 3. If you are using the new ESXi like 6.6 or the new ones, then you need to select so 6.0 or new one, then you can use the 4.1 and 3 both. So there is a comparison between the version 4 and version 3 and version 4.1 according to the compatibility of with vSphere technologies like vMotion and storage vMotion. So both support the vMotion and storage vMotion. Both support the HA, both support the fault tolerance, both support the DRS and DPM, both support the stateless ESXi and the host profiling, but the storage DRS and storage input output is only support by the version 3, not by the version 4. And the site recovery manager is supported by the version 3, not by the version 4.1. And the vSphere virtual volume is supported by the both. Okay, so remember those 2 points. DRS and input output is only supported by the version 3, and site manager also supported by the version 3. Version 4 does not support those two features. So when you configure your NFS data store, so you get this type of console. So you need to ask your name of data store that you want to create, then folder that you want to access from the NFS storage server, and your NFS storage server name or IP address. Then click on that plus icon to add. Okay, and at the bottom you mount this storage as a read only, then check mark. So if you check this, you cannot write the data. You just read the data from this data store. Okay. As a requirement of the Kerberos authentication, you add each ESXi host to the active directory. Then you can configure the NFS Kerberos credentials. And to configure the data store to use the Kerberos, there is the methods. Like you want to use the Kerberos for authentication only, Kerberos version 5, or you want to use the Kerberos for authentication and data integrity. So Kerberos 5 is support in your NFS. Then you can check your information about the storage capacity used and free and URL of your VMFS data store. You can unmount your NFS data store. So that if you unmount, then that data store will not be accessible on your ESXi host. You can configure the multipathing and NFS storage. So add the multiple NICs on your switch to configure the multiple paths and configure the multiple NIC on your storage server. So if your storage server has the multiple IP address, so at the time of configuration, add the both IP address or more than two, then add the more than two IP address as the IP of your storage server to provide the multipathing. So we have a lab. So in this lab, we configure the NFS data store and we access the NFS storage information. Okay. So if you look in our lab, I'm going to my storage server. So this is our storage server. So ISKG NFS is already configured on your storage server. I'm just showing the configuration. Wait a minute. So this is storage server in your lab. So if you look inside the storage server, the SCSI is already configured that you got your disk on your host servers. Like that, save folders is already configured. So there is some NFS data stores. NFS shared folders. So we access this NFS data and we create a data store using this folder. Okay. If you check the configuration, you can check the property. Authentication. So Kerberos and non-authentication both are allowed on this machine. Okay. There are the permissions. So all machines can read only permissions. Okay. So let's start our lab. So I'm going to my desktop computer. So we click on our data center, right click, add a new storage, select the storage, new storage, and choose NFS from this list. Okay. Next, select the version. So according to lab manual, we select the 4.1, the latest one. Next, type your data store name. So name is like NFS data store. What is this? NFS-data store. The folder name is /NFS-data. So this is your NFS folder on your storage server, and here add the IP address is 192 sorry, 172.20.10.10 at. If you have the multiple IP address, then I add the multiple IP address. If you want to mount as read only, so you can select mount as read only. Next. So there is authentication. So we are not going to use the Kerberos authentication. So do not use Kerberos authentication. Next. On which host you want to mount this data store? So I want to mount this data store on both. So select your both hosts. Next. And finish. So it's adding. So look there, you have the NFS data store. And the capacity of this data store is the available capacity on your server volume where you create your folder. So if you look in the summary, the capacity, total capacity is 31 GB, free is 12 GB, used is 18 GB. Because on your storage server, you create this folder on your C volume. So it's showing your C volume capacity. So this folder is on your C volume. If you look on your C volume, so this is the capacity of your C volume. Okay. In the task 2, we just check the informations of your, like click on the summary, check the data store type, capacity, free space, use space. Okay. So this is our lab number 7. So complete this lab, then we go our next chapter. Okay, save screen. Hello?
Yeah, done.
Ben, it's completed?
No.
You are doing?
Yeah, I'm doing.
Okay, complete.
Hello? Hello,
Yeah,
can you
Ben.
hear me? Yeah,
Yeah.
I just received a message. Operation failed. An error occurred during host configuration.
Okay, share your screen.
Can you give me access? Okay. This is the message.
Try it again. Create a new data.
And I was
Yeah.
here. So should I do it again?
Yeah, do it again. Click on your data center. Right click storage. New data store.
NFS.
NFS. Next. Next. Type the name. NFS data store. Folder is slash capital NFS hyphen data.
NFS. Data.
In the server,
This
type your server IP 172.20.20.10.10. Click on add button.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
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 Select
Select both hosts.
Next.
Next.
Finish.
Finish.
Okay, now I think now it didn't come.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I can continue. What is it?
So let's start our next lesson is lesson number 6 about the vSAN storage. So in this lesson we explain the purpose of vSAN data store, architecture and requirements, step for configurations, and how to create and use the storage policies. So basically a single vSAN data store is created using the storage from multiple hosts and the disks in the cluster. So what we do, we have the number of the host servers and each host servers have some hard drives. So what we do, we create a cluster, vSAN cluster. In this vSAN cluster, we combine all the drives to create a data store. And this data store will be shared between each host, between all hosts. Okay.
Yeah.
So the SAN requirement is the network is at least 1 Gbp or the 10 Gbps of your NIC card. SAS or SATA RAID controller must work in pass-through or HBA mode. And you need at least 2 hard drive, one for the cache, one for the data capacity. Okay. For the cache, you can use the PCI, SAS, SATA or SSD hard drive. And for data capacity, you can use the PCI, SAS, SATA, HD or SSD hard drives. You cannot use your magnetic disk for cache for the cache. So you need at least each of both ones. So you need at least 2 hard drive, one for cache, one for data capacity, data store. So the cache storage will cache capacity will not include in your data storage capacity. This hard drive is used for the cache purpose. Okay. So all the hosts in the cluster do not need to have the local storage. A host without the storage is used for its compute resource while using the vSAN storage. All hosts that have local storage have must the following device like one serial ESXi or SATA solid state disk or PCI flash disk device and one or more magnetic device for each hybrid disk group and one SAS, SATA SSD or PCI flash device and one or more flash disk with flash capacity enabled for all flash disk groups. So these are the disk requirement for your vSAN. Okay. You need at least 2 disks on each host, one for the cache, one for the capacity. And you cannot use a magnetic disk, your normal SATA HD disk for the cache. Then when you configure your SAN to use a vSAN, you create a host cluster and enable the vSAN on that cluster like that. Okay. To enable the exchange of the data in the vSAN cluster, you provide a VM kernel network adapter for the vSAN traffic on each ESXi host. And for the communication, you need to create a vSAN network by using the VM kernel adapters. And you can enable the vSAN when you create a cluster, or you can add the cluster property to enable a vSAN for an existing cluster. So you can create a vSAN cluster at the time of cluster creation, or you can enable the vSAN after creating the cluster. After creating the cluster, you need to create the disk group. So a vSAN disk group composed of flash-based device and magnetic disk requirement. So one flash drive, maximum of one flash drive per disk group, and one HDD or SSD, and it support up to the 7 disks. So for the data capacity, you can use up to the 7 disk, but you need at least one. And for the cache purpose, you need at least one flash drive in each group. And you can add 5 disk groups in on a per host. So here's the summary. If you look in the summary, it shows the CPU utilization, memory utilizations according to your cluster, and the storage capacity. You can check your data store, vSAN data store, and vSAN data store capacity, utilization, and the availability. Okay. So the capabilities define the capacity, performance, and availability characteristics of underlying the physical storage. So vSAN cluster present these capabilities to vSAN server where they can be consumed by the virtual machines. So the data store is consumed by your virtual machines and their resource. Requirement outline the need of the virtual machine. So virtual machine storage policy specify the virtual machine requirement so that the virtual machine can be placed appropriate on vSAN data store. So you can create the policies how a virtual machine utilize the space and how the virtual machines place on your vSAN data store. So according to the capacity requirement, we use the storage policies. So the object in the vSAN data store. So in the vSAN data store file are grouped into the following type of objects. One is your VM home namespace, a folder with your VM name. So all the virtual machines configurations and other file will store inside that folder. So each machine have their own folders with the name of your machine. So inside that folder, your virtual disk, your snapshot, your swap files, your memory states, all these files will store inside that home namespace folder on your vSAN data store. Virtual machine storage policies are built in before VM deployment to reflect the requirement of applications running in the virtual machines. So these policies are based on the vSAN capabilities. And the storage policies for the virtual machine is selected based on the virtual machine requirement and the storage object for the virtual machine then created the meet the policy requirement. Like you want to store that hard drive on the multiple disks or on a single disk like that. So there are some type of the policies. So virtual machine storage policies are the essential to the virtual machine provisionings. So like policy control. So which type of the storage is provided for your virtual machine? How the virtual machine is placed within the storage, and which data service are offered for the virtual machine. So these things you can control using the storage policies. You can view a virtual machine, vSAN data store, like consumptions or other things. Like if you go inside the hard drive and if you expand your hard drive and you place your virtual machine in the vSAN data store, so you can check the consumptions like 4 GB disk size on the data store, 8 MB use on the storage space, and 0 MB 0 bytes reserve on your flash drive like that. And you can check the location of your hard drive. So VMware has a separate training program for your vSAN. Okay, so it's a advanced training program. So this is our storage chapter. If you have any query, anyone has any query? Magesh, Ben.
No, Naveen, all good.
Okay. So let's complete the assessment. So Magesh, share your screen.
Give me admin permission.
Yeah. You are the presenter now.
Okay.
Okay, go to VMware portal.
Yeah.
Go to your My Enrollment.
Yeah.
Select this one, yeah.
Now VMware is a separate product, or it's a EMC product.
Which one?
VMware is it's a EMC product, right? Who is
Yeah,
owning
VM. Here, basically, VM is a like a vendor that provide a different kind of the products, like your ESXi, your vSphere, your vCenter, your storage services. Okay.
No. What I'm asking, which company owns this product? Which company? I think it was VM.
Dell.
I think it was
No, Dell acquire your VMware, but the VMware is
yeah,
the original
correct.
company.
Yeah. Dell acquired
Select
this
your
one,
own.
so that's what I was.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Select first one, on-demand content.
On-demand content.
Content.
No, assessment, right?
No. That was the final assessment.
Okay.
You complete those assessment after the training. So select here the storage chapter number 6. Expand the chapter number 6. Select the assessment. So there is 7 questions in this module.
Which of the following requirement is necessary for vSAN? Choose to at least dedicated 10 gig network for hybrid disk group, dedicated 1 gig network for all flash, minimum 1. We need to have at least 1 GB or 10 gig, right? 1 gig or 10 gig.
Right,
So
last two ones. Read last two ones. Basically, the disk requirement is the main for the vSAN. You need to, it's compulsory to fulfill the disk requirement. So one SAS, SATA, SSD or PCI flash drive and one or more flash disk for the enable the capacity and one. So these two requirements, one for the hybrid, one for the normal.
okay. Name is correct, created by host. Which of the following name is created by host? By host.
I think runtime name.
B.
Ban something. What ban? What are you
No,
saying?
I said I think the answer is A.
A. Runtime name. Yeah, it's correct.
Okay.
When you assign an SCSI drive on your host assign a name that known as the runtime name.
Okay.
It's correct. Yeah.
Which of the following is supported by NFS 3 but not NFS version 4.1? vSphere storage, DRS and storage, IO control, vSphere motion, vSphere fault tolerance, vSphere. We need to read, actually, no, we need to read theory. We have to read a lot of theory and
yeah.
Yeah,
A. Okay.
A.
Ben saying A. Yeah, it's correct.
okay.
Site recovery and the DRS and input output is not supported by the 4.1.
Which discrete type allows access to the LUN simultaneously through all storage that are available without significant performance?
Active.
Active, passive, active.
No, active.
Fault tolerance.
No, active.
It's saying It's saying as simultaneously means it's active at the same time use the both
Yeah.
processors, so it's active.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which data store type is supported by vSphere 6.7? All. This one.
Choose 3.
NFS, vSAN, and
Virtual volume.
I think that's
Yeah, these are
this
the
one.
yeah, virtual volume.
In the unidirectional method of chip authentication, which of these authenticates the indicator?
Target.
Initiator is target.
Initiate.
Target. Yeah, target.
Yeah.
It's target.
Target initiate the authentication.
Okay. Identify a SCSI-based storage discovered by an ESXi host on which an administrator can create by using new data store wizard. By using identify a SCSI-based storage, which is iSCSI. Now, SCSI-based storage.
On which type of the data store? On which type of the storage you can create the VMFS data store?
I think
You cannot create on NFS. Yeah, you cannot create on the NFS. Yeah. Yeah, fiber channel. iSCSI and fiber channel. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Complete all those videos. Otherwise, you do not get your badge. Okay.
No. This weekend I'm going to sit and I'm going to complete. I'm going to remove all my lab. I'm going to reset and I'm going to do it again. Because
no, for this content, check all these videos like that. This green check for all ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Like just click and next, so it will automatically check. You do not need to view all video. Your assessment is pending for the module 3.
Yeah, it's pending. I need to do it. So today I would have finished at least most of things, but today the lab was not working. So I should keep trying, with all the browsers and everything.
Okay. So I talked to the management. Okay, I talked to the management. So we are off on Saturday and Sunday. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
so Saturday, Sunday.
Complete your practice. Yeah. Saturday, Sunday we are on off. So you can complete your remaining topics. Okay.
Next week we will do it from Monday to Friday also, then finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for the test, this vSphere test, the VCA test.
Yeah.
So we need to write it in the Pearson exam center, or we can do it online.
Basically there is 2 tests. One is the foundation, it's the entry level test. So you can do this test online. Okay. But the VCP test is done from the Pearson.
So to get the VCP, first we have to clear the foundation.
Yeah, first of all you need to complete the training, then complete the foundation, then you can go for the VCP exam.
Okay. Cool.
So to complete the training, you need to complete all those 4: your content, your lab, your assessment, and your evaluation. Okay. And to complete the content, each chapter has some videos. So you need to view those videos. Like you need to just green check those videos and pass each assessment for each chapter. After that, after the training, you have another assessment. Okay, it's approx 1.5 hours of assessment exam, and I think it's 84 questions in that 86 questions in that exam. But the questions are same with your contents. Those questions we are solving in the content, the same question in your assessment. So you can easily pass that assessment without any help. Okay.
Okay.
And you need at least 80% mark to pass each assessment in the on-demand content and on the assessment on both.
Okay.
So for example, the final assessment, for example,
Yeah.
if maybe final assessment you do and you don't get the pass mark, you can redo it again, or
Yeah, you can reattempt that. You can reattempt the assessments.
okay.
Okay. So next chapter module is module number 7, virtual machine management. See in our module numbers in module number 2nd, we discuss a little bit about the virtual machines, like how to create, how to install the virtual machines like that. Okay. So in this module, we discuss more about the virtual machine, how can you manage the settings, okay, and other things like about the snapshots, about the templates, about the vMotion, storage migrations. So it's a big chapter and it's an important chapter. So because the virtual machines are the basis of all IT operations in virtual infrastructure, so you should know how to properly deploy, configure, and manage them. And failure to properly populate your virtual machine inventory might have unsatisfactory consequence. So in this module, we have total 5 lessons. First lesson is about to create and clone. So creating the templates and cloning the machines. Second is about the content library. Third is modifying your virtual machines. Fourth one is migrating the virtual machine. And the last one is about the snapshots of your virtual machines. Okay. So today we try to complete 2 lessons. So lesson 1 is creating the templates and clone. So let's suppose, Magesh, you need to deploy 100 virtual machines of Windows 10, and you need to join the Active Directory. You need to install the Office over that and some other required applications like any other application. So how much time you need to create all those machines?
If you have a template,
Without template,
without template, it will take time. Like 100 virtual machine,
you need weeks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we have an option like cloning and templates. So they help you to provision a virtual machine quickly. Okay.
Okay.
Let's take a 15 minutes of break, then we will continue.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, it's my tea time.
Okay.
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 Take a 15-minute break, then we will continue.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
So, hello, Magesh. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm
Okay.
here.
So, in this chapter, we discuss how to create the templates, deploy the virtual machine from the templates, clone a virtual machine, enable the guest operating system configurations, upgrade the virtual machine hardware, and create an instant clones of a virtual machine. Okay. So basically, a template is a master copy of your virtual machine, and a template is used to create and provision the new virtual machines. So what we do, we prepare a virtual machine according to our environment requirement. Then we convert that virtual machine in a template. After that, using that template, we make the number of the virtual machines. Okay. So every time when you are making a new virtual machine, all these virtual machine have a separate hard disk and other files. Okay. So when you're creating the templates, there are some scenario. Let's suppose your machine is powered on state or powered off state or suspended states. So when you can clone or when you can convert a virtual machine into the template. So if your virtual machine is powered off or power on, you can clone a virtual machine into a template. When you're cloning a virtual machine into the template, your virtual machine will be there and it's make another copy as a template. Okay. But when you're converting a virtual machine in the template, your virtual machine become a template. You cannot power on that virtual machine. Okay. Because now it's becomes a template. You cannot power off or make the change in a template file. So you can clone a power on or power off virtual machine. You can convert a powered off virtual machine into a template. You cannot convert a power on VM into a template. And clone a template, use this action to create a template that is based on the existing template. You can make another copy of a template by cloning a template. Okay. So you can perform those options similarly by right click on that template or on that virtual machine. So if you right click on a machine, you can select the clone. So clone the VM, clone to a VM. So you can create a same copy of VM, or you can clone to a template. You can make a copy of template using that virtual machine. Or by right click by selecting the template, you can convert a virtual machine into the template, or you can export the OVF template file. Okay. So these are the options are available for your templates. You can deploy the virtual machine for the template. Simply right click on your template and select new view from this template. After that, you can select the folder where you want to store your virtual machine. You can select your resource or which ESXi host you want to create the templates. Update the templates, you want to make some change in your template. So first of all, convert your template into the virtual machine. Place the updates that you want to make the change. Then again convert that VM into a template. So like using this process, you can update your template, clone a virtual machine. So you can make a same copy of your virtual machine using the cloning virtual machine. So you can clone a virtual machine into a virtual machine in powered on or powered off state. Then the guest customizing the guest operating system. Let's suppose you are cloning or you are creating a VM from a template. So all these virtual machines have the same identifiers like computer name and other security identifiers like network ID, license number. Okay. So using the customized guest operating system specifications, you can change these things like you can make a unique computer name, unique network settings, reset your license, or you can unique your Windows security identifiers. So use the customized guest operating system options to make the virtual machines created from the same template or clone or the unique. So you can make the computer name change, network settings, license setting, and Windows security identifier. When you're cloning or deploying a virtual machine from the template, you can create a specification to prepare the guest operating system. A specification is stored on your vCenter. So when you create a specification, it will be stored on your vCenter database. You can edit your specifications later by help of customize the specification manager, and you can create the custom specifications for Windows operating system and Linux operating system. So for the Windows, you can use Windows 2008, Vista, and later operating systems. Now about the instant clone. So when you clone a virtual machine, so cloned virtual machine has a separate hard drive, separate other configuration files. But when you make an instant clone file, the hard drive is created in the different manner. Like the relationship between the previous virtual machine and the clone instant clone virtual machine hard drive is the parent client relationship, parent child relationship. Let's suppose on your you are going to clone a virtual machine using the VM1. So in the VM1 you have the operating systems, you have some data. So when you create a instant clone, so it cannot make a new hard drive for that one. It make a child hard drive that are connected with your parent hard drive. So all the old data your new virtual machine access from the parent hard drive. If you are going to make any change, those change will be right on that child hard drive. So it is fast compared to your normal cloning. So instant clone are generated rapidly from the source virtual machines, and they resume from the exact state as the source. And the processor state, virtual device state, memory state, disk state of the destination virtual machine. Sorry? Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Uh, so your processor state, your virtual device state, your memory state, your disk state of the destination virtual machines are identical to those of the source virtual machine. So if you are making any change, those change will be written on that child hard drive, not on your parent hard drive. And the snapshot-based disk sharing, similar to link clone, is used to provide the storage efficiency. So there is the use of the instant clones, like when you configure your VDI environment, rapid scale outs like the container host, big data, Hadoop, focus nodes. For the test divisions, for the operations, able to replicate the VMs from the staging to production. And the vSphere 6.7 can create the instant clone of the virtual machine only through the API calls. So you cannot directly create from the vCenter. You need to enable some APIs to create instant clone. Removing a virtual machine. So you can remove a virtual machine in the following ways, like remove from the inventory. So when you remove a virtual machine from the inventory, so this type of the removal unregister the virtual machine. Your virtual machine will in the data store, but you cannot access, you cannot power on, and it cannot be visible in your inventory. Means you unregistered your virtual machine, and the virtual machine files will remain on your disk, and the virtual machine can be later registered on to the inventory. Later you can register that virtual machine on the inventory again. But if you select the disk from delete from the disk, this option will erase all the files of your virtual machines from the data store. Okay, so let's check about the lab. So here we have three tasks: create a virtual machine template, create some customized specifications, deploy a virtual machine from a template. So first of all, we create a virtual machine template. Okay. So to create a virtual machine template, log in on your vSphere client in your browser, and then go to the VM and template inventory view, select Windows 10, power off your virtual machine. Then right click, select template and select the convert to the template. Then right click, move the folder into the templates. Okay, and rename with Windows 10 template. Okay, let us start. Oh shit. Yeah. Give me 2 minutes. I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
So when your machines will be starts. You start your lab, launch your lab. Okay.
Okay.
Benjamin, can you launch lab? Is it working?
Yeah, I just launched it. Yeah, I just opened it. It's working. Why yours is not working?
No, lab is working. I'm not able to launch this one, vSphere, vCenter in the
vSphere
Firefox.
client, the client, or the web client?
We are using the web client, is it?
We are using the client, the vSphere client, not the web client, the client, because when you look at the
Yeah, but I've tried that. It's not coming.
just on the browser, just try to refresh the browser, because mine
Yeah,
when I open my, it gives me error, so I just refresh the browser again, and it just opened the page and opened everything. So maybe you just try to refresh the browser.
yeah.
But he said we should just open the lab, but not to do it, because I just opened the lab.
Hmm.
It needs a bit of practice to get used to this, because if not, you will not understand anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because this is just a manual. There's a menu that you follow, so it will become more easier. But when there is no manual for you to follow, it will be difficult.
Yeah. We need to actually do a theory and then do the lab without manual.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That because if not, this one you will finish the code, but you don't understand anything, because there is manual you follow. Okay, that's good.
Exactly.
But when there is no manual, what will you do?
Yeah, exactly. So we should not refer the manual at all. After the course, you should not refer the manual. Yeah.
Yeah, after the code, I think we need to do it without the manual, so that we can see that at least we understand something.
Exactly. Oh no. Naveen?
Yeah, he said we should give him 2 minutes, but maybe he went. Yeah, maybe he went to the bathhouse, or maybe.
Yeah. So I think, how is the situation in Italy? Is it still the same or
No,
reducing?
no, right now it's reducing. Right now it's reducing. Even all the time I check the news in Italy, the infections is going down, and the people dying also going down. Now they are saying that the hospitals are beginning to empty.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a good sign for Italy.
good.
Yeah, it's a good sign for. So me myself, I said when I finish the course Friday, then I'll contact the embassy to see if I can get an organized flight with other Italians, and we can move back to Italy.
I don't think so. The flights are available for at least
No, no,
for a.
Yeah, I heard that right now the flights are not available. But when you contact embassies, can organize an emergency flight for its citizens.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. So that one, that's what I'm looking for, because I've heard that there are other nationalities that they have organized flights for people like UK and USA citizens. They have organized a special flight for them to go. Even Italy has also organized some flights for people. But
okay,
as I said, for me, I just wanted to finish my course before I can contact them.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So maybe when I finish, then I'll contact them and see if there will be a possibilities. Because right now I heard they said there is no flight going. So until maybe there is a low record case in India. So right now we don't know when the flight will begin service again.
Yeah, I heard the flight services will begin maybe in June. That's what I heard.
Just
I'm not
imagine
sure.
June is
But
very far for
you
me.
have visa, right? So your visa, I think now visa should not be a problem because they will extend it
No,
anyway.
even my visa they gave to me was 1 year visa.
Oh, okay. Then you have enough time.
Yeah. My visa will expired on December, I think 20th December. So
Oh,
for
okay.
visa, I don't have
Okay.
a problem about visa. Yeah. Because when I applied, they gave me 1 year visa.
Okay. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. 1 year visa, and you have 6 months of stay that you can go out, then come in again for another 6 months.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. So for visa side, I don't have any problem.
Cool.
Hello.
Naveen,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
I'm not able to open this one. Give me
Which
permission
one?
to share.
Share the screen. What happened?
No, I am not able to launch the vSphere. I have closed multiple times. This lab is really, frustrating. Seriously, most
Show
of
me.
that it's not working. That's what is really frustrating.
Share
See,
screen. Actually,
yeah.
when you like launch your lab, it will take few minutes
No, no, no.
to
Launching
properly
lab
start
is
your.
working. No, no, no. See this one.
Yeah, it's installizing.
Now I am getting. I was not even getting that one.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting.
Every time when you launch your lab, you get the same issue because the vCenter take 10 to 15 minutes to completely install.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so before starting the labs, you launch a lab, so it will prepare. So it take few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Your vCenter server. Other machines will start within 2 or 3 minutes, but the vCenter also start in 2 and 3 minutes. But the vCenter service take the 10 to 15 minutes to completely install. Okay. So
Oh,
if you deploy your vCenter in your environment, when you start your vCenter, like if you reboot your server or when you are first time starting your service, take the same time.
oh, okay.
It's not a lab issue. Basically, vCenter server manage the thousands of objects. There's a number of the objects. So properly load them and properly load all the services, install those services, take few minutes. Okay, it's not a lab issue.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. So you are full time working with SDN technologies, or you are working in a company also?
Yeah, basically,
Apart from that.
I am working with SSDN full time, but I'm not a full time trainer.
Okay, okay.
I
No,
work
after
on
learning,
projects.
you should
Yeah.
after learning you should apply it in some the real time,
No,
right? So when you get a chance to.
yeah. I work in two companies after vSphere, and last 3 years I'm working with SSDN.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
So which one you are feeling good? Training or
Yeah, training is
company?
better. Training is better. Training is better. Actually, if you work
So
for a
company,
company, You just do some repetitive task every time. So it's boring or but
Training of the skill.
It's true. Because I also
hello?
work in data centers. I just got bored.
Yeah. Basically, if you're working on any specific field, let's say you are working in any company, so that company has a number of the administrators. So the tasks are divided between them.
Yeah, that's it.
So you are work on a specific task. So you will be bored after some time. But in this field,
Yeah,
the training, yeah, is effective. It's learning as well. We face the new challenge in the training. You have the
See,
lots of time to learn. Yeah,
learning you get, but you need to apply the learning, right? That's my question. See,
yeah,
okay,
basic.
today you are learning, say there is something new in VMware. You need to apply that, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So if you are a full trainer, then you cannot apply your learning. But if you are working with projects, then it's good
Okay.
to it's right way to apply your learnings. So
Exactly.
we also apply the trainings and we also handle the projects of other companies and clients.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with create a virtual machine template. So let's check our vCenter is started or not. Okay. So in our environment, we have two 10 machines. We are going to convert the 10 Windows 10 1 in a template. Okay. What is so I'm going to VMN template inventory view, expand your data center, your VM, and I'm going to convert this Windows 10 1 in a template. Okay. Right click and you can check the compatibility for about the template and convert to a template. Yes, it's completed. So you can differentiate the virtual machines and template based on the icon. Okay, and you cannot power on or perform some other actions on your template file. Look there, you cannot add the settings, you cannot manage the settings here. You can just clone, convert, or create the new machines. You can assign the permissions. You can delete. Now what we do, we move this template in template folder. We rename this one like Windows 10 template. Okay. The second task is creating the custom specifications. So to create the custom specifications for the guest operating system, click on the menu button, select policy and profiles, and here you have an option to VM customization specifications. So there is no custom specification, so we are going to create a new one. Okay, so like provide the name. So name is like Windows 10 custom custom specifications. You can add the description, select your node, then select your operating system. For which operating system you want to create? So you want to create for the Windows. Okay, and select this one, generate a new security identifier. You can run the custom system preparations from here. Then here provide some information like owner name, like VMware student, Organization like VMware. Computer name, so we want to use the same name as your virtual machine name, or you can like enter a name in the clone and deployment wizard. So if you select this option, so when you create a VM and you apply these custom specifications, so it asks you about the computer name, okay, or you can apply some specific name using the entire name. Next, about the license, so leave it as default. If you have any license server or if you have any license key, you can add here. Then administrator passwords. So I want to add this VMware password, VM. Next, time zone. So we select the US -8. Set your time zone. Then if you want to run any specific command, you can put here. Next, assign the network. So like how we interface get the IP address, like the from the DHCP server, or you want to provide the manual IP address, so you can select here. Next, then you want to, if you want to join your computer into the domain, you can select from here like domain. So provide your domain name. Our domain name is vclass.local. Username. So our username is administrator. Administrator and the password. Next, and it's ready to finish. So now we have created a custom specification. Later we use these custom specifications to deploy a virtual machine with these options. Next. Now we deploy a virtual machine from a template. So go to virtual machine and templates. Right click on your template and new virtual machine from this template. Here type your virtual machine name. So let's our virtual machine name is Win1003. Location is like VM Labs. On which server you want to deploy this machine? So we want to deploy on ESXi 1. So select the host server from your inventory list. It's checking the compatibility. So all the compatibility checks succeed. Next. If you are getting any warning and issue, so first of all resolve that issue, then move forward. Then here about the disk. So select the disk format. You can select here like the you want to deploy thin provisioning or thick provisioning, like okay. So we want to store this virtual machine on ESXi data store. So select your data store, and I want to deploy through the thin provisioning. So select thin provisioning. If you want to apply any specific storage policies, so you can choose from here. So there is no specific policy. Next. Then if you want to specify any specific options, so I want to customize the operating system. Select this one, customize operating system. So when you select this one, a new task is add here, task number 5. If you remove this one, it will be invisible. So I want to customize the operating system. Select. Next. So here apply the custom specific. Select your custom specification. So I want to apply this that we create in our previous task. Next and finish. And power on your virtual machine. So we cannot power on this virtual machine. There is no option because it is creating. It's not created yet. Okay.
Okay.
So it will take few minutes according to your disk input output speed. And you are using ISKG, so it's also taking some time because all the operations are performed on a remote storage. So similarly, we create another machine like Windows 10 4 on another host. So right click, new virtual machine from this template, name is Win10-04. Storage is VMLab. Host is ESXi2. iClass, so ISKG data store with a thin provisioning. Next, power on the virtual machine after creation and customize the guest operating systems. Next, select your guest operating system custom specifications and finish. So after creation, when you power on your virtual machine, first of all, it's power on properly, then it's apply the custom specifications. Your virtual machine will reboot. After that, your all custom specifications will be applied. Okay. So at the first power on, the settings are same, like your security identifier and other things are same as the clone VM. But after the reboot, all the things will be unique.
So this Windows that we are creating, the Windows 3, Windows 4, is the client machines.
Yeah. So complete your lab. Uh, Complete your task 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Complete your task. We have some. We'll use some labs like we validate the configurations after the creation. So it will take few minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes to complete this creation. Okay.
Yep.
So do those tasks in your lab. Complete those tasks in your lab. Then we'll move forward.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Share your screen.
Yep.
Now you are present data. Share your screen. Complete those tasks.
I can't see the shutdown guest OS. Oh, Naveen,
Yeah, hello.
I think my first lab is pending. I think if you finish your first lab only, then I think this will come.
Oh,
I
really?
think, yeah, you need to install your guest OS. Did you install your guest OS? Guest operating?
Guest about what? Come again.
You need to install the guest OS, right?
What guest? Because
Can you see
what
my
guest?
screen? No, see my screen.
Wait. Okay, wait. Let me see your screen because
Now we need to go to page number 43, right? See, okay, this is all done. Okay, so what we
yeah.
need to do? See here,
Go to
we need
okay
to
virtual
shut down
machine.
the guest OS.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You should.
in my thing,
It's already shut down. It's already shut down.
no, not server, OS, guest OS.
Windows.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
now
guest.
it has come.
Yeah.
Power on, guest OS. The power
Yeah.
option, guest OS.
No. The Windows is already shut down, so there is no need for you to shut it down again. Look, power off. It's
Oh,
already off. So
okay,
there's no need. Yeah. So there's no need for you to shut it down again.
okay,
So you just
okay.
you just continue on with the next step. Yeah. Convert to
Oh,
template. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Hello, Magesh.
Yep.
Go to previous step. Select the ESXi 2.
2.
Yeah.
But it was 1, right?
It's saying which is not accessible. Okay. It's saying the network interface, network adapter 1. Okay. Click on the cancel button. Go to your host and inventory tab. Let's check about the configuration. Select ESXi 2. Select the configuration. Sorry, click on network. ESXi and not here. On the yeah, here network.
I didn't complete few labs. Maybe is that because of that?
Production is small p. Okay. Select the ESXi one on the left side. PRODD. Oh, this is the issue. Okay. Go to configure. Networking. Virtual switch. Inside the networking. And scroll down. More. Scroll down more. Select the switch one. Scroll down. Expand first. And now scroll down. First of all, expand. Yeah, now scroll. Right click the 3 dot in front of products. Edit. And remove ND. PRODUCT. Okay. Zoom out, zoom in. Yeah. Okay, click on OK. And now try to create the VM on ESXi 2. Select your template. One minute. Yeah, select your host. Yeah, provide the name Windows 10 for. Select the location. Next. The production which is not accessible. Okay. Actually, we need to modify that template. Cancel. Right click on the template. Convert to VM. Convert to virtual machine. On the lab server. No, select your ESXi host. ESXi one. Next. Finish. Right click edit setting on the Windows 10 template. Windows 10 template. Setting. Networking. Scroll down. Yeah, select change the network. Browse. Select the production. Okay. Now convert it again in a template. Select template. Right click template. Yeah, right click on that Windows 10 template.
It's not coming.
Yeah, look at under the policy. Right click, select the template. A little bit down. Yeah, in the same screen you have the templates. Yeah. Up. Yeah, look here. Convert to template. Yes. Now, right click, provision the machine. New VM from this template. Windows 10 for. Select the ISKG storage. First of all, select the ISKG data store.
Oh, for the previous one, I didn't select that one.
Yeah, right. We move the storage of that machine. Next, apply the custom specifications and back. Power on the virtual machine as well. Third option, not second. Third, yeah. Next, select custom specification. Yeah, select that one. Windows 10 custom. Next. Finish. Okay. Let's move the Windows 10.3 to the data store. So right click,
No, I need
migrate.
to change.
Migrate.
No, I need to change this. I need
No.
to change that.
Yeah, we can migrate the storage to the ISKG. So migrate. Storage only. Second option. Next. Select the ISKG from this list. Select the thin provisioning on the top. Or same format as the same format. Next. Finish.
Okay.
Okay, it's failed because the machine is in the power on state.
Oh,
Power of the Windows 10. Now migrate this one. This has the same format. Select the same format. Yeah, Windows ISKG. Okay, next. Finish. It's reallocating. It takes few minutes.
yeah.
And you can also change the settings. Like look
Oh,
at the network. Its network is PRODDUCT. Yeah. So after migration, you can add the setting and change the network. Okay.
okay.
Otherwise, it will not come. It will not communicate on the network. Add it after the migration.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Ben, you complete your lab?
Yeah, I complete.
Okay. So let's verify about that configuration. So
Want
I'm
me to share
sharing my
the screen?
screen.
Ah, okay.
I'm sharing my screen. So I powered on both of machine. So let's check in Windows 10 for. Okay. So I'm going to launch the web console. Web console, okay. So what is the name of my virtual machine is Windows 10 4.
Okay.
Okay. And what is the name of my virtual machine? Is also Windows 10 4.
Yeah, 10 4.
And that files we copy on the desktop, CPU, BG, and iometer is also there.
Yeah, the domain is.
Okay. Let's check about the domain. It's already in the domain vclass.local.
Okay.
Okay. So if we check for the Windows 10 4, it will take few time. Okay. Open. After properly start, it will reboot automatically and make those change. If you want to apply any custom specifications after the creation of the virtual machine, you can right click on that machine, go to the guest operating system and customize guest OS. Okay. From here, you can apply that custom specification.
When the machine is on.
No. You need to reboot your machine to apply those changes. After applying this configuration, you need to first of all power off your machine, apply those changes, then start your machine. Okay.
Yeah.
So it reboot 2 or 3 times, then it will make all the change. So like that, you can create the virtual machines using the template. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the next chapter is about the content library. Okay. So the content library is a repository in your vSphere where you can store your templates, template files, ISO image, and other type of the files. Okay. And at the back end, the content library will store on your data store. So there are different type of the content library. So we will discuss about the content library in this chapter. So identify the benefit of content library, describe the type of content library, and deploy a virtual machine from the content library. So content library are the repositories of OVF templates and other files that can be shared and synchronized across the vCenter server. Let's suppose you have two vCenter server. One is India, one in let's suppose in Italy. Okay. You create a repository in India. You add some templates and some other files. So you want the same templates and file in your Italy data center. So you can synchronize your content library with Italy. So you can access the same templates and same files. Okay.
Okay.
So the library items including your virtual machine templates, virtual app templates, and other VM objects like the ISO files and other type of the files. So when you are making a template, you can select like clone to library. So that template will store on your library file. Okay. When you're deploying the virtual machine, select the template in your library, right click on the template on your library and simply select new VM from this template. So the template in the library can be used to deploy the virtual machine and vApps, and each vApp template and other files in the library is library items, and you can mount an ISO file directly from your content library. So benefit like sharing and consistency on your all vCenter servers. You have the same templates and ISO files and other files. Storage efficiency and secure subscription. When you subscribe a library from one site to another site or one vCenter to another vCenter, the communication between them is a secure communication. over the HTTPS protocol. So there are three types of the libraries. One is a local library, a library content that you control. So it's your own library. One is the published library. So you can make available your local library for other ones. So that will become a published library. Mean you publish your library for the subscription. One is the subscribed library, a library that sync with a published library, and you subscribe other one's library to synchronize the content. Okay. So in this lab, we use the template and clones and use the content library. So lab number, we done the lab number 8. Create the virtual machine templates, custom specifications, and deploy the VM from the template. In the lab number 9, we create a content library, clone a VM template to a template in the content library, deploy a VM from the template library, and delete the content library. So let's start. So our first task is create a library. So I'm going to my vSphere. Here I'm selecting that menu, and you can choose the content library. So if you look there is no content library. So we are going to create a new content library. So I'm click on this plus icon. So first of all, specify your library. So the name of library is like VM library. Okay. On which we enter on our assay VC assay site 1. Next. Then configure your library. You want to create a local content library or you want to create a subscribed content library. So I want to create my local content library. Okay. And if you want to allow this library to access by your subscribers, so you can publish this one, publish externally. Okay. And here you can enable the authentications. So you need to add a password. So I'm just and you can also synchronize over the HTTP protocol. Otherwise it will work over the HTTPS. Next. And here you select a data store where your all the content will store physically. So we are going to select ESXi data store. Next. It's complete. Finish. So now you have a content library. It's published yes, password no, any automation no, template 0, other library 0, storage 0 bytes, and there's a creation date. So what we do, we add a template in this library. Okay. So in the task to clone a VM template to the content library. So in inventory list, we select our photon with template in the library. Okay. So go to VMN template. And here we have a photon for template. Right click on this one and clone to library. And select your content library like this one. You want to add a name here, like photon for template. So I just change this one, photon library template. Okay. Okay. So look there, it's creating the library, uploading the library item. So it will take few minutes, approximately it will take 10 minutes. After that, we deploy the VM from this library. Okay. So complete your lab till task 2. Then we start the task 3.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, say your screen.
Yes, sir. Before that, we need to change setting for one VM. I think for VM3. Is it
Yeah, I
for
think
VM3?
VM3. Yeah, it's for VM3.
So edit settings.
Yeah. Production network. Browse. Production. Yeah. Do the same thing for Windows 10 too. 10 to and Photon. Okay. And delete the Photon 1 machine. Delete this machine. Delete from disk. Yes. Now perform those tasks. Create the content library and power on your Windows 10.3. Windows 10.3. Not 10 to 10.3. Now create a content library. Change the template name. Photon-lib template. LIB template. Okay, just next. So okay. So it's uploading. Okay, it will take few minutes. Magesh, sorry, Ben, you done or you are doing?
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Okay, complete this one. Give me a minute.
Oh my God, I need to urinate, man.
Hello, Ben. It's complete.
Yeah, hello, yeah, complete.
Okay. Okay. Now let's check how to deploy a VM from the template. Deploy a virtual machine from a VM template in your content library. So what we do, we go to our content library, select the templates, and select your template. So our template is here. Okay. Right click on this one and new VM from this template. Like the name, photon from library. Select the location, lab VMs, next. Select your server, server 1, next. And it's saying select the name, and folder into the photon from library in the virtual machine text box in the selection the virtual machine location. Expand the site data center. Okay, sorry. We are going to store this machine in data center. Back on the data center, not in library. And on ESXi 2, we are going to store this machine. Next. Okay. So no certificate present, download size unknown, think provision. Okay. Next. Choose your disks. So we are going to store in class, and the disk type is thin provisioning. Next. Select your network. Is in production. Next. Finish. So it will take few minutes. So complete this one.
Which page? Sorry.
Yeah, deploy a VM from the library template. Task number 3, page number 57.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, share your screen. No, go to your content library. Okay, you have deployed. No. Look there. I think you have deployed a VM from the content library. Yeah. Yeah, this one. It's deploying. Look at the recent task at the bottom. It's 67% completed. So it takes few minutes. After that, you can power on that machine. You cannot power on yet because it's under deployment. Look at the recent task. Yeah, it's under deployment.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
this one is very slow. Man.
After that, you can power on your virtual machine and access. Did not mount the exe due to the feature failure. Okay, I think it's failed. Okay, operation time. Oh, due to the network latency, this goes failed. Okay, but what about you, Mangesh? Say your screen. Yeah, it's deployed successfully on your make a console. Launch the console of this machine. Wait a minute, it's connected. Wait a second. Yeah, connect anyway. Just yeah, it's working. Look there. It's your PhotonOS login page. So it's properly deployed in your environment. Okay. So like that, you can deploy the VM from the content library.
Okay. So can we log in?
Yeah, we do not need to log in here. Okay. Now what you need to we want to delete that content library. So yeah, you can shut down this machine. Go to your vCenter. Okay, go to your vCenter. Go to your content library. Click on home. Content library. Right click on your content library. Yeah, right click. Delete. So delete the library and all the content inside that. Okay.
Yeah.
But the VMs that you have created using that template library, they will remain in your environment. They will not delete. Okay.
Okay.
The templates and other data in your content library will be removed after deleting a library. But the machines that are created through the content of the through the content library, they will remain in your environment.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So this is our today class. Tomorrow we discuss about the modifying the virtual machines and about the migration
Okay.
and snapshots. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Naveen. Thank you so much.
yeah,
And
you're welcome.
Ben,
Bye
thank
bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
Ben.
See you tomorrow.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.